We're inundated with some apocalypse clowns and cobwebs. And because the Nightjars are here, we're going to take some vacation friends off to Fool's Paradise. I'm Van Connor.
And I'm Adam Ball, and this is Off Screen, your 7-day guide to everything movies.
Boom.
Groovy.
So, hello and welcome back to the show. We got a load of brand new movies to talk about today. We're going to look at I can't even say it. Apocalypse Clown.
Acropolis?
Never heard of that one. Cobweb. Cobweb as well in a moment. But let's start with Fool's Paradise. So all I know about this one, Van, is Kate Beckinsale is in it, and it's a comedy.
Yeah, no, I'd forgotten Kate Beckinsale was still out. I haven't seen Kate Beckinsale anything in years. Remember when Kate Beckinsale used to be in movies?
Yeah, I know, right?
God, thems were the times, weren't they? Right. Funnily enough, just before we started recording, I had to turn my TV off, and it was kind of amusing to me. The thing I was watching was It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia on Netflix. You know this about me. I'm a huge It's Always Sunny fan. I'm also a big Pacific Rim fan. So Charlie Day, big supporter of Charlie Day in my household. I always love to see Charlie Day in anything. This is a movie written by, starring, and directed by Charlie Day. And it's also got, I don't know if he's credited, but he's sort of involved with it. He's been a sort of sounding board, at the very least, Guillermo del Toro attached. So Guillermo del Toro has been sort of coaching Charlie Day through making this film. So it's called Fool's Paradise. This came out on Monday on digital, and it came out very quietly. And the minute I heard, I'm like, we have to include it. I've been dying to see this movie. I saw a trailer. I thought, it's Charlie Day doing silent comedy kind of thing. I'll go for that. Like, that's right in my wheelhouse. I would come to regret this decision, as we'll discuss.
Oh, no.
I really would. But, of course, the appeal of Charlie Day is, he's sort of the new Bobcat Goldthwait, if you know your 80s comic references. And so, this is the story of a man named John Doe. He has no name. He's simply referred to as John Doe in the mental health facility in which he is a patient. At the onset of the film, we are told that he has the mental capacity of a 5-year-old or a golden retriever. He will simply do what he is told. He will imitate your behavior and just follow direction. Okay? Because he's, just a hobo off the street who's in this mental health facility, he's then just turfed out because it's America, so he doesn't have the health insurance, for the extortionate, life-destroying bill that comes with, getting treated for a stubbed toe in North America. Trust me on that one. So he's turfed out onto the street, where he happens into the eye line of a passerby movie producer, played by the late great Ray Liotta. This was one of Ray Liotta's last roles. So Ray Liotta is a producer who's driving by, spots Charlie Day. At this moment, he's having trouble with a prima donna movie star who's a bit of a method actor, who's refusing to come out of his trailer. He notices that this guy looks an awful lot like him. So he thinks, I'll tell you what, I'll get this guy, we'll use him as the stand-in. We'll finish the movie with this guy, and then we'll have a finished movie. We don't have to work with this awkward actor. Only for our John Doe, who starts to go by the name Latte Pronto, because it's just a confusing thing. He keeps getting shouted Latte Pronto in front of him. He starts going by the name Latte Pronto, to sort of fail upwards. He starts to become an overnight star, and he starts finding himself going through the full-blown Entourage-style studio system, where he's a megastar, where he gets the mega babe, hot celebrity wife, played by Kate Beckinsale, where he has like a celebrity best mate, played by Adrian Brody, who's another sort of Christian Bale-like method actor, where he finds himself being sued, where he finds himself getting into scandals, and he has this wayward, over-the-top, aspiring talent manager, played by Ken Jeong. I've got a clip for you, and this is Charlie Day, who has no dialogue in this. Charlie Day and Adrian Brody, who just think Christian Bale, on the set of a Billy the Kid biopic, which is what the movie is, Billy the Kid biopic, dealing with just the rigors of being a prima donna movie star. Have a listen.
Can I get you a coffee, sir? Or did you want to sit? Let me get you a chair.
Hey, bud. How you feeling? Whoa. Oh, hey. Oh, hey. You were good. I felt the fear. It was palpable. Yeah, I go half method these days. Yeah. Used to go full method, but some people got hurt. Not me. Kind of like Tommy, Couldn't handle it. Amazing how much you look like him, huh? It's truly remarkable. It's uncanny.
Can I get you guys some chairs?
No, we're good. We're good.
This movie has the scope, from what you've said in the synopsis, to be a really funny comedy. Is it?
No, that's the thing. I didn't find it. Some of the satirical stuff really works, but other stuff just falls flat. And it is in its attempts to be more broad in its comedy where it starts to fall apart. Ostensibly, on the surface, what you've got is a movie that's halfway between Robert Altman's The Player and Benny and June, with where you had Johnny Depp playing, a released mental health patient who thought he was Buster Keaton. You've got a very similar thing here, and Charlie Day's going for very much a similar vibe. Now, Day is easily the best thing about this, both as a director and an actor. However, not as a writer, because the script for this is garbage, and that's a shame. I know what it's trying for, but it just doesn't quite get there. And at the center of it all is Ken Jeong going way, way too over the top with this just very, extra performance as the talent manager. Very pitched way too high. And I know that the character is meant to be fueled entirely by energy drinks, and it sort of makes sense within that context, but it's very throwing for what otherwise could have worked quite well. As I say, that wonderful combination between Benny and June and The Player. Supporting cast, though, are a lot of fun. You look at Kate Beckinsale, for instance, who I don't think I've enjoyed this much in a long time. It's Kate Beckinsale on pretty much strong form. This is kind of the Kate Beckinsale that we had 20 years ago, who I really miss, actually. I didn't realise how much I missed Kate Beckinsale as a movie performer, even though she feels like she never really got off the ground. She kind of got saddled with the underworld thing and kind of just fell into that and then went away, really. Also, Adrian Brody. Now, I've not had this much fun with Adrian Brody in a long time. I've been trying to remember what movie it was that I saw Adrian Brody in recently, where he was playing an Italian. I remember saying it verges on a hate crime. Like, it's at the very least, it's cultural appropriation. I can't remember what movie it was now, where he played like an Italian mobster, some action comedy. Maybe it was Die Hard, maybe something like that. But he's a lot of fun here, and it's very obvious that he's sending up someone like Christian Bale. The only problem is, like I say, the script is rubbish, and you've got that Ken Jeong performance. And I wish it weren't for those two things, because it could have been something really, really good. And I say that as someone, I've got a lot of time for Charlie Day. And like I say, he very much is this generation's Bobcat Goldthwait, who himself kind of stopped being the performer and went into directing. He directed an incredible movie about 10 years ago called God Bless America, which might be one of the definitive satires of the 2010s. But again, that didn't catch on really in the mainstream either, and this decidedly won't. And anyone who does come to this, pretty much like I did for the Charlie Day of it, is, I think, going to either not finish it, is either going to turn it off within half an hour going, this is rubbish, or they're just simply going to wander all the way through it and just go, oh, that was forgettable. I mean, it screams of the kind of movie that you see on Sky Cinema. You know, that Sky Cinema would sell pretty much for its star appeal and nothing else. And that is a real shame, given the wealth of talent to be found on screen. I mean, Ray Liotta, how do you waste one of the final performances of Ray Liotta? God damn it! Ray Liotta, man.
Name one thing that would have turned this movie around and made it a really good movie.
Ken Jeong dialing it down and a better script, so I'll give you two.
But there you go.
Yeah.
Well, if you want to go and see it yourself, you can, because it is on demand.
It's on digital. This is done on demand on digital, yeah.
From Monday, isn't it? So,
yeah.
If you want to go and watch that, search and you shall find. You can watch. All right, so in a moment, we are going to talk about the new movie Cobweb. Now, I don't know a lot about this, but I'm guessing it's a horror movie, yeah?
Ooh, what a stab in the dark that was.
Well, we'll see what Van thought of it in just a second, all right? Stay there. Hello and welcome back to the show. Let's crack straight on with another new movie that is out in cinemas from today. It's called Cobweb. I did allude to the fact that I thought it sounded like a horror movie moments ago, which was pretty obvious. So, yes, Van, talk to me about Cobweb.
That's what you get when you don't call the movie Teddy Bear, isn't it? You just assume, a horror movie. Yeah, so Cobweb, which I think is the feature film debut of director Samuel Bowden, who has come really from TV, from the series Tank. which I've not seen. Now, I do know the Batman short film that he made 10 or so years ago, back in 2009, I think it was, which was called Ashes to Ashes, did a Batman short. Not really a new thing. There's a lot of very well-made Batman shorts, sort of fan-made Batman shorts out there in the internet. I remember one from the early 2000s that involved the Predator that was absolutely banging. But yeah, this is his sort of feature film debut. So this stars Anthony Starr and Lizzie Kaplan. So Anthony Starr, you'll know as Homelander from The Boys. Do you watch The Boys?
No, well, not
No.
regularly. No, I've not. No, it's. I've seen bits here and there, but not watched it attentively.
Clearly not seen the right bits. Otherwise, you'd have watched the whole lot by now, Mr. Ball. I know
You know what I'm like.
You'd bloody love The Boys. It's just be like catnip to you, The Boys. It's kind of made for you. Right, okay, so you've got Anthony Starr, who's Homelander in The Boys. You've got Lizzie Kaplan, who I still primarily think of as Janice Ian from Mean Girls, even though she now, is more known for, like, Party Down. She played the Kathy Bates role in Castle Rock, the Kathy Bates misery role in Castle Rock, the Stephen King series that kind of went all Once Upon a Time with all the Stephen King canons. So she played Annie Wilkes, I think it is. So, both known for playing kind of darker characters. But this centers around their son, who's an 8-year-old boy who one night starts to hear a voice behind his bedroom wall, begging him for help, knocking on the wall, desperately trying to get out, just pleading with him for help. And this obviously starts to give him sort of night terrors and phobias. And his parents tell him, there's nothing behind the wall. Stop acting up. He just goes to school, does his drawings, and draws like horrible images of the thing, himself like in bed panicking about this voice behind the wall. His teacher, who's played by is it Cleopatra Coleman? I think it is Cleopatra Coleman from The Last Man on Earth. The Australian lady from Last Man on Earth with Will Forte. Series I love and miss fondly. She's his school substitute teacher who starts taking interest, thinks he might be being abused, and starts to wonder just what's going on with him. Starts to ask too many questions and finds that his parents are acting a little bit shady. So you've got separately both the little boy and the teacher just trying to figure out what the hell is going on. Not only with this alleged voice behind the wall, but with the parents themselves. I've got a clip for you, and this is after the teacher has revealed the drawings their son has been doing to said parents.
What kind of picture, Carol?
A child. A child asking for help.
What?
I knew that you would jump to conclusions.
You're telling me this
Other
now?
than that's just not possible. Stop. It's what I tell you about.
Stop. Peter, why would you draw a picture like that?
I really hurt her!
No, you did not! No! You're grounded.
Okay, Peter, go to your room.
No, Carol, he's grounded. He's going in the basement.
Wow. Okay. What's the actor like who plays the 8-year-old boy? Because is he like the next big thing?
Do you know what? I think he's got real potential. Now, I've not seen him in anything. His name's Woody Norman. I've not seen him in anything else, but I know that he stars in The Last Voyage of the Demeter, which is the new Dracula movie. It's like basically Dracula on a boat. We're going to be talking about it in a couple of weeks' time. Incidentally, I've got a screener for you. We'll have to watch that together and watch it together in sync from our respective homes, obviously, and compare notes. But I know he's the boy on the boat in The Last Voyage of the Demeter. So I am intrigued because his performance here is great. His performance is really good, and as you can hear from the clip, both Anthony Starr and Lizzie Kaplan are obviously really going for it. But to be fair, if you're going to cast two actors as a shady married couple in suburbia, maybe don't get the actors who play Homelander and Annie Wilkes on telly. You know what I mean? Because I compared this recently. I was talking to Petri Hoskin on Talk TV the other night, and I was talking about this movie, and it's like having a whodunit and having one of the suspects be Ed Harris. You know what I mean? You're kind of asking for trouble with that one, or like having a suspected rapist and the actor that you've cast is Robert Nepper, or something like that. Robert Nepper, or who's the guy that played Watchmen plays Rorschach in Watchmen? Getting that guy, you know what I mean? You're kind of just asking for absolutely no suspension of disbelief whatsoever. It's like, Tim, It's that guy. It's that guy there. It's absolutely like kind of typecasting to a T. You're asking for trouble. It would be more of a twist if there's nothing to them kind of a thing. But there's got to be something up with them, because otherwise they wouldn't have cast these actors. Now, having obviously done work on television and in shorts, it's very obvious that Samuel Bowden has an eye for the atmospheric tension that really makes for a successful horror movie. And looking at something very recently, movies like Barbarian, The Boogeyman, for instance, and then this for my money is the best horror movie we've had since Barbarian at the tail end of last year. Barbarian absolutely made Last Halloween. That was the movie to beat Last Halloween. This, I think, has been released about a month too early. Because if you put this out for Halloween, this would have been a banger. This is great. This has got some proper jumps in it. I watched this with a friend of mine, and we were jumping through the ceiling. It was really solid, really good. And I think definitely a more successful venture than the Boogeyman was. I think it although Boogeyman was really solid, I think this built on its rep a lot better. I think the performances really make it. It's always nice to see Anthony Starr get to do, as you could hear in the clip, really shouting off the bat, like, that full-blown nuts when Homelander loses it in The Boys. I know you've not seen enough of The Boys, and oh my God, you've got to see more of The Boys, my friend. Please watch them. You would love. You're gonna put it on Prime Video tonight, and honestly, you're gonna be texting me within like an hour, being like, oh my God, where has this been all my life?
There's so many movies and so many series that I haven't seen that I know you want me to watch. I haven't got enough time in my life to watch them all.
The Boys is just sick, sadistic fun. But it's like dark comic book fun. It's like, what if Zack Snyder had a sense of humor? Like, it's that level. It's produced and written by Seth Rogen. But it's
well, I know I'll love it then.
Yeah, but it's like the Justice League kind of characters, but what if they were all psychopaths? Rather like the Justice League characters in the Snyderverse actually are. But what if, they were outright psychopaths? Kind of like that.
Brilliant.
And then they are the bad guys. It's absolutely brilliant. Also, just worth it for Carl Urban as the one of the leads. But no, enough about The Boys. Sorry, I could geek out about The Boys all damn day long. But no, we're talking about Cobweb. Cobweb is really good. When it gets to its big reveal, it doesn't actually disappoint either, and it does kind of live up to the name Cobweb, the sort of creepy, crawly nature of it, because it does really get under your skin. Its reveal of just what is actually going on is wonderful. And I promise you, it's not quite as straightforward as I've laid it out to be, even though it is a little bit formulaic. Even in its kind of double-handed reveal, it's a little bit formulaic, but the way that it executes it is so effectively done. It's such a lean, refined, very well executed spin of this particular dial that I think you'll come away going, yeah, that's a solid one. They released it too early. This would have done gangbusters at Halloween. Why the hell have you put this out at the start of September? Meh. Because I think this was released like Barbenheimer week in the US. Like, they dumped this out on Barbenheimer week.
Oh, okay. That's
or the
really
week after. I think it was either Barbenheimer week or the week after. So I don't know what the hell they were thinking, because this is a rock solid one for Halloween. But I'm doing the the 12 Days of Halloween thing I did last year. I'm doing another one this year, and this is going in. This is going in my 12 Days of Halloween this year effortlessly. This was so good.
Good. And I'm really glad to hear you said that there's some really good jumpy bits in it, because I hate a movie being billed as a horror movie and then you say, not really many jumpy bits here and there. To me, you've got to have jumpy bits in a movie for it to be a horror movie, right?
Yeah, totally. Also, I will say, I'm sorry, but as you can hear from the clip, when someone says, oh, no, he's going in the basement, something shady is about to go down.
Yeah.
Nothing good's ever happened in a basement, as Barbarian proved last year.
Well, if you want to watch Cobweb, you can, because it's in cinemas from today. Go and enjoy, and just pretend it's Halloween, maybe. Right, still to come. We've got 2 movies to look at next: Apocalypse Clown and Then Come The Nightjars. Both of them in just a minute, so stay there. Hello and welcome back to the show. All right, we're going to move straight on with something that's been adapted for the screen from a stage play, and it is called And Then Come The Nightjars. Now, to me, the title screams something about dreams, maybe, and nightmares. I don't know if I'm right or not.
It's kind of a nightmare, but not in the way that you think. So yes, adapted from a stage play, award-winning stage play. So I gather, like quite an acclaimed stage play by, I think it's B. Roberts.
Yeah.
I'm not sure it's B. Roberts adapted this for the screen. Yeah, B. Roberts has actually written it and adapted it for the screen as well. It's and directed by Paul Robinson, not my friend Paul Robinson, a different Paul Robinson. So this is effectively a two-hander. So it's a two-hander between, you've got David Fielder as an aging, sort of near retirement age OAP kind of farmer. Runs a farm of livestock, and then you've got Nigel Hastings as the local vet, effectively, who's, he's had his troubles. He's part of the community, but he's had his troubles. Our farmer, David Fielder's farmer, I think his name's Michael, is, they're quite friendly, and he's seen him through some bad times. But at the same time, all of this takes place during the 2001 foot and mouth outbreak. So we're literally told at the start of the movie, in 2001, the foot and mouth epidemic, led to so many, livestock having to be culled, etc. This was the law the government passed, that any livestock within 3 miles of any outbreak would have to be put down. Now, what you effectively have is Nigel Hastings' character, the vet, Jeff, having to... We start out with a scene that establishes their friendship, and then we jump... And, as the outbreak is starting, as inspectors are starting to come round, as they start to say, we've had an outbreak down the road, you need to put your livestock down. We then jump forward in time, and we see the effect that this has had, not only on each of the respective men, but on their friendship and their relationship with each other. We then have a further time jump that fleshes this out further, and it is about, let's say, partially the foot and mouth epidemic. It's ostensibly about that, but it's actually more about the effect that outbreak had on the relationship and lives of these two men. Have a listen.
The government has decided that all animals within a 3-kilometre radius of an infected farm are to be slaughtered and then burned on site.
You get off my farm! I'll blow your bloody head off! Michael, I've never seen anything like it. It's like a war. Let me help you.
You won't do nothing.
There's nothing I can do.
You look me in the eye and tell me what you're going to do to my girls. Dr. Crawford, please don't let them take my girls. Please, Jeffrey.
I mean, I like these kinds of movies because I think it's a great way of showing everybody what, farmers across the UK had to go through at this moment in time. Things that we, as normal human beings that weren't farmers at the time, we wouldn't have had a clue about what was going on.
Yeah, absolutely. It's 81 minutes long. So I don't imagine there's an awful lot been expanded upon from the stage play. I think there's probably more of a sense of location. Obviously, I've not seen the stage play. If I would hazard a guess, I would presume that there is just more use of the natural environment and location for the screen. But it clocks in at 81 minutes, so I don't think there's been much expansion otherwise. It is, like I say, a two-hander. And the subject matter that it explores, as you point out, it works. It leads to some really quite profound character drama. David Fielder's performance in particular, really wonderful. I mean, as you can hear from the accent there, this is set in Devon, and he's got that patois down. But the chemistry between the two men is, first of all, it's really arresting. It's really investable, but it's also quite heartbreaking. It's a really moving film. This is not the kind of thing, obviously I'm not exactly catnip for a movie about a Devon farmer and his love of his cattle kind of a thing. But oh my God, was I on the edge of my seat with this. Like I really was. I was like, I'm really feeling for this guy in the circumstance. And also you kind of see both sides of it. Like you do get, obviously, that, Nigel Hastings as Jeff character, the vet, kind of just has this put on him that, it's his assignment to just go round with the bolt gun. And you really feel for him in that regard. It's a kind of like, you're damned if you do, damned if you don't. You see this from both sides, and you are heartbroken in equal measure for each of these two men. Absolutely wonderful performances, really, really well captured. I was really taken. I take very much a sense of place. Like you really, get the sense of atmosphere of this Devon farm, and let's say the love of this man for his cattle, and also how it ties into his relationship with his late wife, things like that. This is really something to catch, I think. No,
I've got to ask.
Obviously.
No. Well, I've got to ask before we move on to our next movie. Where did the title "And Then Come the Nightjars" come into this?
It refers to, I think, the nightjars are the birds that they sort of see around the farm, and I think it's a reference to the nightjars coming around at a certain time of year or something like that. I think. Right.
Okay. I had to ask that because going through the movie as you did just then, I'm sat here thinking nightjars. They didn't come into it at all.
Yeah, you tell me it's a movie called And Then Come the Nightjars. I thought it was something to do with pixies or something. To be honest.
Yes.
British horror movie? Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. My mind went all sorts of places, so I'm glad we've clarified that one. And Then Come the Nightjars then in cinemas from today, if you fancy a bit of that. Let's move on then to something you probably should avoid if you're not a fan of clowns. It's called Apocalypse Clown. And I'm guessing again that this has got to be a horror, surely.
Well, this one actually is the British horror movie. So this is directed and co-written by George Kane, who works on Inside Number 9. I think he's directed a couple episodes of Inside Number 9, which I didn't know that until after I saw the movie, and I probably could have guessed, to be really honest, because it has kind of that sensibility of it. This is one I would recommend to people who are fans of like Psychoville. If you're fans of like the Reece Shearsmith kind of stuff, although it's not anywhere near as good as anything Reece Shearsmith ever put his name to. Okay, so this is about a group of clowns. I think in Ireland. I was going to say Wales. This is Ireland. It's about a group of clowns who unite. They're struggling with the state of the clown industry. Such as it is, clowns aren't as in demand as they used to be. Kids aren't interested in clowns anymore. They'd rather play their video games and watch TV and go on TikTok, as we are literally shown early in the movie. And I think is it Bonzo? Is it Bozo? I'm trying to remember that. Bobo. Our lead is David Earl's Bobo, effectively, who, it works at a hospital entertaining kids, and he's just not needed anymore. The kids have no time for him. And he goes to the funeral of a renowned, famous clown, where he unites with several other of his professional peers. So, you've got a gaggle of clowns at a clown's funeral. You can imagine how this goes. And together with a local journalist, Jenny, with whom Bobo briefly had a much regrettable on her part one-night stand, they get into a scuffle, find themselves arrested and locked in the drunk tank, only to be let out the following morning to find that there has been a technological apocalypse. And society has kind of gone the way of Mad Max. And they set off to basically Shaun of the Dead their way through this. Obviously, technology is gone, society's gone primeval, and they only have each other and their very particular set of skills to rely on. So I've got a clip for you. This is them coming across a particularly buff savage guarding a food truck.
What was that?
There is nothing left to steal. Just move on and you're going to no harm.
Stay calm. I am a journalist, a good one.
Leave this to me, Jennifer. I know how to speak to perverts. Listen, by all means, have your filthy way with him, but let the rest of us go.
Oh my God, you're bleeding slightly.
It's nothing.
No, I think it's I think it's something serious. We should take your shirt off right now.
Listen to the man, Jenny. There's nothing for us to steal. Let's go, please. So you're a journalist?
Written all over my face, huh?
No. Was literally the first thing you said.
Yeah, okay.
So are they doing this and acting in this in full-on, like, fluorescent hair, red nose, big shoes?
Yep.
I'm not sure I'd be able to take any of it seriously.
Well, I mean, to be fair, you're not really meant to. Like I say, it is going down that quite satirical horror route of something like Psychoville, where they are sort of sending up. It's surrealist comedy to an extent. Now, I would say this is the kind of film that you would see like premiere at Fright Fest, and late at night. Maybe the audience would have had a few drinks and they might get into the fun of it. Obviously, I watched this in the cold light of day, and I pretty much found it a very much a 2.5 star kind of affair. Like points for effort and everything, and the production design of it for say a cheap and cheerful Irish horror comedy. Fair. I mean, it's no... oh, God, what was the one with the zombie kids that I really like? I forget the name of it. It doesn't quite measure up, for my money. Like, the clown gag doesn't quite stretch as far as either the makers of the movie all the publicists would like you to think it does. It feels quite rote. It's the kind of thing that you could see done as a single episode of something like Inside Number 9 or something like that. But outside of that, it's quite ropey, it's quite cheesy, it's a bit too silly for its own good, which I know is odd to say about a movie about clowns. But I say, though, there are a couple of performances in there that really go for it, and they go for it quite admirably. Natalie Palamides' performance as Funzo, for instance, really goes above and beyond, and there's a lot of weight being put on those very little shoulders. But other than that, I would say this is kind of a direct-to-DVD type thing. I wouldn't particularly spend the time going out to seek this one out this weekend.
Well, if you want to make your own mind up, and that's my usual line there when Van says something's not great.
Very diplomatic, aren't you?
I know, I try to be. Apocalypse Clown, it's in cinemas from today. Right, we've got one last ride in a moment. We're going to talk about Vacation Friends. It's Vacation Friends 2, isn't it?
2, yeah, 2, yeah.
Yes, I haven't seen the first one, so that's going to be interesting. We'll see what Van thinks of it next, all right? Hello and welcome back. Let's move on then. One last movie to chat about with Van. Vacation Friends 2. I'm sure, hasn't this got the dude in from Con Air?
The dude in from Con Air? No, I don't think it has.
I thought Steve is it Buscemi?
Oh, Steve Buscemi, yes, sorry. How am I bloody forgetting that Steve Buscemi was in Con Air? Jesus. Right.
He was the weird one, wasn't he?
He was Garland Green.
That's it.
He was the Define Irony. Bunch of idiots dancing on a plane to a song made famous by a band who died in a plane crash. Yeah,
love him.
There was talk for a while that they were going to do a Con Air sequel just following that character, like as a fugitive, out in the world on his own.
I'd be there. I'll be watching.
I mean, it's been 25 years. Come on, man. Give us our new Hannibal. Come on.
Yeah.
I'll have that. Yeah, I'll have some of that. Pour that in me. Right, so Vacation Friends 2, which is written and directed by Clay Tarver, who directed, of course, Vacation Friends 1, which I think was 2 years ago, maybe 18 months, 2 years ago. Went more or less straight to streaming. I think it went to Disney Plus / Hulu. Went to Hulu in the US, Disney Plus in the UK. Starred Lil Rel Howery, and Yvonne Orji as Marcus. They're a married couple, Marcus and Emily, who go...
Yvonne who?
Yvonne Orji.
Oh, it's actually us. Okay, I had to just check.
Is it Orji? Yeah. ORJI.
Oh, okay.
Orji. Or I'm sure it's Orgy. But they were the couple who go on vacation in the first movie. Met another couple who are Ron and Kayla, who are played by Meredith Hagner and John Cena. They become their vacation friends. You know those friends you make while you're on holiday?
Yeah.
You never speak to again. But the whole thing was that they then show up after the vacation. But they're basically agents of chaos. Like they're wild, partying, free-balling, Class A abusing, hedonists of the highest order, completely inappropriate, kind of thing. We've now got the sequel where, having, actually become legitimate friends at the end of the first movie, the two couples reunite to now go on vacation again, together, They go to this fancy resort. I forget where now. Where are they going in this one, actually? Hang on. It's in Mexico this time. You don't get the sense that it's Mexico, trust me, because this could be any nondescript place because it specifically involves a Chinese company as well, so it gets even more confusing. So they go on vacation to Mexico, the two couples together. John Cena and Meredith Hagner's couple now have a baby together, who they've brought along the maitre d' from the first movie as the babysitter. And it so happens that in this movie, what Lil Rel's kind of keeping from and Emily's character keeping from the other couple is that they're going to stay on for a few extra days so that he, as a property developer, can take a meeting with the company that own this resort, who have put them up there for free, in order to design a new state-of-the-art hotel for them. However, they show up early for the meeting. They shift everything forward, so he kind of has to let the cat out of the bag. He's there to impress this company. Sorry, forgive me. He's there to impress this company. However, he kind of has these wayward agents of chaos friends to deal with as well, so he kind of has to keep them in line. However, that's not the end of his troubles, because Kayla's recently released convict dad also enters the mix and joins them on vacation, played by Steve Buscemi, who himself very much fits in with the whole agent of chaos theory. So I've got a clip for you, and this is Steve Buscemi being introduced to the group.
I can't believe I'm actually here.
Yeah, neither can we.
Yeah, man, it's crazy that you're here. I mean, if you don't mind me asking, why are you here?
Guys, this is so crazy. He was literally just released from San Quentin.
Just yesterday. Perfect timing, right?
So wait, Kylie, you told him to come here?
No. I mean, all I told him was like the hotel we were staying at, and then classic my dad completely surprised us.
Look, I have missed all the big events in Kyla's life. You know, the birth of her kid, the wedding, graduation from cool sculpting school.
That one hurt.
And her mom's death.
May Jesus rest her beautiful, precious, lovely soul.
God, I hated that witch. So after all that, I had no choice. I had to come crash her honeymoon.
Right?
We are so glad you did.
I was about to say, so Steve Buscemi isn't quite as weird in this as he is in Con Air, but actually that last line, I retract that statement.
Yeah, he's going for that kind of weird, twitchy energy that he does so well, and he's like, the whole crack is he up to something? He's thinking it's Steve Buscemi in one of those cigar hats. You know, of course he's up to something. He's got a Hawaiian shirt with a wide collar over a blazer and a Panama hat. You know, of course he's up to something. He's Buscemi. Do you know what? Not going to reinvent the wheel or anything. It's boilerplate 3-star material, but it's decently fun enough. There's a couple of good chuckles in there. You know, if you like seeing Cena let off the chain and go a bit wild, which is always good fun. It's kind of the you, me, and Dupree kind of dynamic, but, you know, with a married couple. And both Hagner and Cena, you know, let rip. Buscemi's a nice added value element for this one. My personal favorite new element of this, though, is Ronnie Cheng from The Daily Show. And I think he turned up recently in Joyride. He's in Crazy Rich Asians as well. And he plays the smug Asian businessman quite well. You know, the smug Asian playboy type, playboy business, but here a little bit more buttoned down. This is, I think, a bit more in line with his Crazy Rich Asians character, actually. And he's my favourite element of this one. And his sort of arc here is, you know, can he stand up to his, you know, female boss, I mean, the CEO of the company? Because, you know, in Chinese culture, they don't do that. And I really liked him in this. But having said that, like I say, this is not going to reinvent the wheel. It's 106 minutes. It's a little bit over long. Like, you feel you could have clipped that 15 off and just had this at a tight 90. Like, it would have been a lot more efficient, I think, as a tight 90-minuter. But if you are someone, it's about as good as the first one. And if you are someone who liked that first one, then, you know, you're in good stead. You're getting a pretty decent sequel to the first one. Like, on its own merits. I'm saying that on the merits of the first one, it's a pretty decent sequel. Having said that, if you don't like the first movie, it's a pretty decent sequel to that first movie in and of its merits. So you pretty much know you're not going to enjoy this one either. But you know what? I thought the first one, boilerplate 3-star, but otherwise pretty fine. This one, boilerplate 3-star, pretty fine. I can't complain about it. It's on streaming anyway, so it's not like anyone's, you know, going to regret putting out the ticket money on this.
Is it one that you could just dive into without seeing the first one, or is there enough follow-on that you really could watch both?
Oh, yeah, totally. I mean, the only real continuity, because you get the gimmick of, you know, vacation friends. You know, it's in the title. You kind of know what the premise of this, premise of this whole series is. Yeah. And other than the sort of maitre d' character from the first movie, there is no real continuity to this. It's not like they refer back to events. They really don't. It's not that kind of a movie. I mean, Weekend at Bernie's 2 had more continuity to it than this.
Brilliant. Well, if you want to watch it, as Van said, you don't even need to leave the house because Vacation Friends 2 is on Disney Plus from today. All right, let's just have a quick look at some of the movies we're going to look at next week then on the show. Man on the Run.
Yeah, Man on the Run I'm really looking forward to this. This is a documentary. I'm hoping to get some interview time with the director of this as well. This is a documentary about this master extortionist who pretty much, you know how they say the best place to hide is in plain sight? This guy really took that to heart. He not only hid in plain sight, this was like a financial criminal. He actually funded The Wolf of Wall Street, like the movie. Like, he went on the red carpet, Wolf of Wall Street, arm around Leo, literally hiding in plain sight. This financial criminal, look what I'm funding. You know, That's what this guy did. Yeah, so I'm really looking forward to that. I've got a link to watch that this weekend. A Life on the Farm, I don't quite know that much about. Greta Lee, is in Past Lives, which is getting really good reviews, which is out next week, which I'm looking forward to. And of course, the heavy hitter for next week is the upcoming horror sequel, The Nun 2, None Harder. But I'm kidding. It's not called None Harder. It's just called Nun 2.
I was going to say that sounds like a Blue movie, mate.
Yeah, I would have liked None 2, None Harder. Would have been a good sequel title, I think, on this one. Two Nun, Two Nunnery. But
I'll tell you, out of that little lot, I am really looking forward to Man on the Run. Honestly, that is the sort of movie that I would get.
I will get you the link for that yourself. You should watch that one with me. I think you'd enjoy.
At 100% with you on that one. So, we'll talk about all of those next week on the show. That is, of course, all we've got time for this week on Off Screen. We shall be back next week. Until then, I've been Adam Ball.
I've been Van Connor, and we shall return.